I'm here with good friends David and Daphne from Blue. We know them from their Nomad system, their electronic tankless dive system. We have a couple ourselves, but they have something new that they're introducing and we want to go through it all here today. So what's the best way to learn about this stuff? Actually using it. So that's what we're going to sacrifice ourselves and do today. So we're going to jump in the water, learn as much as we can about both systems and bring you guys along for the ride. Guys, if you can, let the viewers know what we're looking at and a little bit about the company.
So this is the Blue products right here. You have the Nomad in this backpack. This is a Nomad Mini. What they are battery-powered dive systems. Nomad's designed for 30 feet. It pumps air from the top down to the diver. When you breathe in, you have a small harness and that pumps air to the diver. So you just need mask, fins, and weight belt. Blue is a sister company of Brownie's Third Lung. So if you've been in Florida, you probably had a Brownie's product, seen a Brownie's product. They have the gas-powered systems. They have the battery-powered systems. And they have systems that get installed in the boat. So we brought over also another product, which is the SeaNXT Elite, which Daphne has right now. The SeaNXT Elite is an underwater scooter, and she'll give you some more details about that.
Awesome. So like David said, this is the SeaNXT Elite. This is our green model. It comes in 4 different colors. They're made in France, and it is all carbon fiber. So it is 50 pounds, which makes it pretty portable and light to put on any boat. You can dive it down to 140 feet, and it goes up to 13 miles an hour. So they're super awesome to take out on a boat day or even off the beach. They have 2 throttles and a full screen on the front, so you're able to see your speed while you're running it.
So guys, what would you say are, I guess, the use cases for the clients? What are they using this for the most part?
So this is our Blue Nomad, and with this system, you're able to use it for, I mean, what most divers would, a recreational dive system. But because of its portability, you're actually able to store it on your boat or even in the back of your car. So if you get in a situation where you need to do quick maintenance or even just, pop it in the water and check underneath and, check the hole or even on your motors back there, this is something that's really easy to do. You just set it up right on the boat like it is, pop the battery in, and then once it's in the water, you've just got that regulator. So you're able to just slide right underneath the boat and check what needs to be done.
That's pretty interesting. It's not really something that I thought about before, but on the way over here we were chatting about it a little bit, and they mentioned a gentleman that went over to the Bahamas and had 2 occurrences that they hit, what, a net?
Yeah, they hit a net. They were going fishing to Bimini, and the way over in the Gulf Stream they hit a net. So the gentleman tried to free dive it. So Gulf Stream, it's got a little bit of a current, there's a little bit of chop. So he actually wasn't able to get the net out. He realized he did have a unit on there. He grabbed the unit, got it out in a couple of minutes, got to Bimini, and then he got into another net. So now, he was at shallow water. The first time was like at 5,000 feet, whatever it is, in the middle of the Gulf Stream. But then, he got in quickly, and he came with us at the Stewart Boat Show. And he's like, dude, this really saved my weekend because we were stuck. There was nothing we can do. I think it was a sports fish, they were heading over to Bimini. So it saved his life in a way that otherwise they would have to do a boat tow. I don't know how much that would cost from that area.
Probably a pretty penny. Yeah, it's something I honestly didn't think about, but yeah, if you get, a big net tangled into your prop of a big diesel sport fish or something, even an outboard in the Gulf Stream, it's tough to get out there, especially if there's a 4-foot chop, 3-foot chop, anything, to tangle that with the normal capability of someone that might be slightly out of shape like myself. But to have this there where you can do it calmly, not having to worry about it. And I mentioned even like the NASCO Marine Hallmax that we have in our boat, we clean the bottom from time to time, and with a snorkel you get on there and you can do it in a few feet of water. But how nice is it to be able to just sit back, relax, breathe underwater, and take care of the maintenance of your boat, which again is something besides the recreational side that I never even thought of.
Yeah, and that's probably the most popular one is actually treasure hunting. So during COVID, that's what really took off. All the dive shops were closed. People couldn't get their tanks filled. So the treasure hunters really took off on this. They started buying them because you go off the beach, you go off the boat, travel with it, so you can bring it on a plane. So the fact that it's airline friendly, you could bring it to Bimini, go to an island. You don't have to rent any tanks, or you could rent a boat and you have your own dive system there. You don't have to worry about someone else's.
All right, so on the sides here, you have your 2 buttons. When you press them down together, you'll hear that startup tone. And now the system's gonna initialize. So the SeaNXT is gonna turn on, and then you'll see you have your 2 throttles on the side here. So when you're in the water, you do have to have both throttles pressed at the same time. Otherwise the system's not gonna move. It's just a safety feature on it, so it can't get away from you. So it does take a minute or 2 to load up that screen, but once our screen is on, you actually are able to see the GPS location of the system once it's in the water. Obviously it's not gonna track underwater, but when you come up to the surface, you will be able to see it again. And then you can also see your mode and your speed on it, and your battery life as well. So it's super awesome that you have that function. You're able to see. It does have a kind of drain here as well. So when you are underwater and you're kind of riding with the system, it's not going to create a lot of bubble wash up in that screen. You can see it.
Yeah, it's really cool having like a GPS navigation system right in front of your face. What's the weight of this thing? I know it's something we've talked about, this carbon fiber.
So in total it is 50 pounds, but it is quite light. I mean, you're able to actually move it and stand it up and physically hold it or move it around a boat if you needed to. With that being said, you are able to charge it as well. It is battery operated, so the charger port is here, and that just screws in with some O-rings on it, so it's nice and water sealed. And then you have the 2 handles on either side, so carrying it and lifting it off of a boat is quite easy, especially if you're lifting it down into the water to somebody below you.
Very cool. I noticed something here in the front. Check out the lights on this thing.
Yeah, so it's got that super awesome headlight. It almost looks like a fish or a shark, if you will, because it's got the gills on the side and then that headlight in the front. So I guess if you were using it at night, you'd be able to see a little bit better. You can also see the fish and the marine life around you.
Very cool. Excited to give this thing a spin.
So shark is going to be the fastest, and then sport is one below. Eco is the slowest, and then cruise and sport are kind of the 2 that you'll probably bounce between. But definitely try all of them and then kind of see what your preference is. And then it'll tell you your depth as well.
What kind of battery life are you seeing from a normal cruise mode?
So it depends. Obviously, you know, the weight of the individual and how fast you're going and the depth as well. But usually eco mode, you're looking about an hour to an hour and a half, maybe up to 2 hours. In cruise, you're looking at closer to maybe an hour. And then as you go into sport and shark mode, you're looking at anywhere closer to like 45 minutes to 30 minutes, maybe at the least amount in shark mode. But then again, at 13 miles an hour, that's quite quick. Now a lot of people are going to be holding it at that speed the entire time.
If you don't get away from the shark in 45 minutes.
Should have come up and put it on the fast charger, you'll be ready to go.
And how do you charge this? What kind of charging mechanism does it have?
So it comes with its own charger, and what's awesome about the charger is it actually has a slow and a fast option, but you can control it on there. So it's not 2 separate chargers, it's all packed in one. And once it's plugged in here, this is also where you would do any kind of updates or anything. You just kind of set it to go, and it charges up usually about an hour to an hour and a half if it's on slow, and then it kind of varies depending on the fast mode.
That's a regular like 110 connection into the
yeah,
charger?
so just 110 or 220, it plugs right into the wall, or if you even had it kind of strong enough on the boat, you can do it as that way as well.
Nice. That's pretty sweet. One of the coolest things about this is how light it is. I believe it's about 25 pounds lighter than the competition. Crazy carbon fiber. This is like a burnt orange. Got some water in my mouth. A lot of wildlife around that thing. That's a good way to get around, that's for sure. Covered a lot of ground. Barracuda around that thing, sergeant majors, all kinds of tangs, parrotfish. Really cool to see. You don't even have to kick your legs one time.
So that's why it makes it more manageable to take it out on a smaller boat.
How much water stores in there?
About 8 pounds.
And that's it? Is it out there or?
No, it's just because it's...
Yeah, it drained out.
Yeah,
now,
just
now it's out.
yeah, just want to...
This thing's sweet. I was flying around that light. It's just like the current was tossing me towards it a little bit, so you can go from cruise to sport or shark mode. Gives you a little more juice. Easily crank away from, you know, anything that you want to stay away from.
So we have 2 dive units right here. This is the Nomad. Nomad's designed for 30 feet. It's a 40-foot hose. That's the Nomad Mini. That's a 30-foot hose. It gives you dive depth to 15 feet. The difference is smaller compressor with the Nomad Mini, smaller batteries, 86 watts. The Nomad Mini right here, what you can actually do is stack batteries. So right here, it normally comes with 1 battery, but then I could connect 2 batteries or technically 3 batteries. So the runtime with 1 battery is about 30-40 minutes. With 2 batteries, you're doubling that. With a 3rd battery, again, you're increasing that dive time. The Nomad Mini is great just if you need it for hull maintenance, quick inspections. You only need that 15 foot of depth, but then you have the hose length for 30 feet, so you go underneath the boat, catamaran or bigger boats. The Nomad unit, bigger battery. So right here, this is a 144 watt battery. So it's still airline friendly. That means you can bring it on the plane with you. You could bring the unit on the plane, or you could check the unit, but the batteries will always be with your carry-on, your laptops, your drone equipment with that. Both of these units float. So one of the differences is this is a hard shell. where this is more of a soft shell. They both come with a dry bag. You can actually see the dry bag used right now as a slack line, but you could attach it to the hose right here. And what that does is it gives you extra buoyancy. So if you get tired, it provides 40 pounds of buoyancy. So if you can relax on it, if you're not a great diver, relax on that, take your weight belt off, you can attach it to it as well. That's the major differences with the unit is gonna be the compressor size and the battery size. You are breathing compressed air. So compressed air, main thing is you wanna ascend slower than your bubbles. We do have a free online training course. We do have a lot of divers that are scuba divers. So this is not to bypass scuba diving. This is another way to dive to get access to your boat, recreational diving and fun diving. We see a lot of questions about spare air or mini pony bottles. So this gives you 5 to 10 minutes. Spare Air is a company out of California, Submersible Systems. So these originally were, you know, if you ever watched Baywatch, pretty much breathe in, the quick systems for emergencies. They're not designed for recreational diving where I'm diving right here. As you go deeper, it's going to give you less time of breathing. But if you're a scuba diver, you're recreationally diving with a tankless dive system, in case the system runs out of battery, when you didn't hear the low battery warning, which both these systems do have, you have a backup to go up. So pretty much you breathe in regularly. But they are not designed for boat maintenance, because once this tank is empty, you need to go to a dive shop or you need a compressor system to refill it. There is a way to refill it with a manual pump. That's going to take you probably about an hour to refill it for 5-10 minutes of air.
Okay, so this connection piece here that connects to the harness, you're going to take that and flip it this way, because your regulator always is going to be on your right side. So you're going to want to make sure that it is right on the back of your neck. Once it's over the top, then you just want to make sure that it's comfortable and kind of level. You take the long tail and you're going to weave it behind your back up to the big buckle, and then those connect, and you just tighten it down kind of like a backpack so it's nice and comfortable. Once that's comfortable, you want to find the top chest strap and clip that to where it's comfortable as well. It doesn't have to be super tight, just so that it's secure on you. And then you have your regulator here. You want to make sure the knob is turned on, so you'll know by pressing the purge button. If it doesn't turn on or doesn't make a noise, it's not on. So you're going to spin it to the on direction. Now we're ready to go. My system's already in the water, so I just put the regulator in my mouth and I'm ready to hop in the water with my mask and fins.
How was it, Jason?
Fun. You can go all the way down, see all the fish. We found a motor. What else you find? A hogfish?
That's all kinds of stuff. Big school of barracuda over there, which is cool. Sergeant Majors, all the fish tank stuff that hopefully will be populating our 200-gallon tank with. Pretty excited about that. Not from here. We're not going to snatch them from their natural habitat, even though we'd give them a better life, like Jason says.
So what do you do with the unit when you get back to the boat? You got to turn it off, or?
So one of the things you would normally want to do is get the unit rinsed off in fresh water or freshwater tank, like any saltwater equipment. Same thing like the boat. The boat's done, you give it a freshwater rinse to get all the salt water because it's very corrosive. Same thing with this. Freshwater rinse on that. Once you're done with that, you would open this compartment up, disconnect the battery. If you have a tank, what you do is put the unit in the freshwater tank, turn the regulator and run it for a second, and that'll kind of vibrate the motor and get all those salt components off that unit. Once you're done with that, disconnect the battery, then curl up the hose with the unit. The battery, you could swap out another battery if you have a spare, or you can recharge the battery on the boat. If you have a small inverter, like a 100-watt inverter, you'll be able to recharge that battery on the boat. So technically you would never need to go back to land to continue diving. So with Nomad dive system, what I'm going to show you is kind of from the beginning. So when you get the unit, you uncurl the hose, get everything set up. This right here is your intake tube. Your air is coming from the top. You have 2 O-rings protecting the air intake, so this whole unit does float in the water. You want to make sure to take this plug out right here first before you connect the battery. So right now I put the air intake in. I'm going to connect the battery. You're going to hear some startup tones. That's the compressor calibrating every time you connect it. So if you would have had this air intake closed with a plug, that would calibrate it to a smaller volume of air. So once you're all set up, you're gonna get this door right here. And what we're doing different here is with a shallow reef off of Miami, what I did is I curled up the hose. So I'm only having about 10 feet of hose. The rest of the hose is curled up and it's organized next to the unit. The unit you will just drop into the water. So that's the most common question is, does the unit float? Yes, it does float. If Daphne, if you don't mind, just pushing down on the unit for a second. So it's floating and my air will still come. So it's pretty good with the waves. 2 to 3 foot waves probably is the maximum you want to do. Past that, it's not really enjoyable diving experience. If you're doing hull maintenance or anything inspection, you'll probably make this shorter so you can go around the boat. You do need to keep the unit in the water because it's water cooled.
So now that we spent a little time with the SeaNXT system, it's, you know, something I've seen around. I've wanted to try it. Super fun, actually. If you haven't tried it, it gets addicting. You get into that shark high speed mode and you just whip around. I was going around Fowey here checking out all the wildlife without even having to use, you know, my muscles whatsoever. It's easy just to cruise around, very comfortable. It has that GPS system that shows you the different modes that you're in and all kinds of other stuff. So it's fancy, it's good looking. That carbon fiber is absolutely gorgeous. Lightweight, I believe it's about 25 pounds lighter than the competition. So it's easy to move around. On a boat like the Costa, we have plenty of storage. It's small enough to be able to stack it in one of the fish boxes and get it completely off the deck and out of the way. So you can take it out there if you use it, great. If you don't, it doesn't bother you. Again, it's something that if you are able to add one to your boat, it's a ton of fun for your friends and family if you're gonna hang out at the sandbar, just cruise around, go to the Bahamas or whatever it is that you do. So with the Nomad system, I have a little experience with the tankless systems out there, the Brownie stirred lung. I had one growing up when I was younger. Spearfishing, I wouldn't really use it. I would free dive for that, but for lobstering or just, you know, checking out reef fish, it's absolutely perfect. You don't have to deal with tanks, all that cumbersome, you know, gear that you need to put on. Basically a unit on top of the water, and then you have a tube connects to you with a little harness and you're good to go. And this is like a, you know, simpler version of that. Very light, portable. You can take it on a plane, which is one of the best parts about it. A third lung is, you know, a larger unit with a tube. You're not really going to use it to, you know, do some maintenance on your boat or things of that nature. This you will. This is small enough that you can store it in a hatch. You're not even going to notice that it's there. And then if you're going to, you know, if an opportunity arises to use it, you have it. Simple unit, excellent. It's lightweight. We got a little bit of current around the light itself there. It was easy to pull it back. Sometimes a larger tube does give you a little bit more friction when you're trying to work against the current. So I like that as well. It just has a lot of good things to it. It's probably more meant for shallow water. Again, lobstering, just hanging out, checking out the reef, stone crab diving, or boat maintenance. It's absolutely perfect. We have 2 of them and I definitely want to spend more time using it because I just honestly forgot how nice it is to be able to sit down at the bottom, you know, without having to use your lungs and just relax and enjoy nature.
Pretty much once you're done diving, you rinsed off the unit, you're ready to put the unit away. It's really simple. You want to make sure you disconnect the battery. So this unit's been rinsed off, it's ready to go. Right here's the battery. You slide out. Then you want to make sure you empty that water and the dust cap right here. So that water will kind of get emptied out because you don't want to have the water going in the connectors. You slide that back in. Put that back. The unit, then you'll curl up the hose. You can do this while you're in the water when you're getting out, so you don't have a lot of hose, but pretty much you just turn the unit like this. Right here, I had shortened it because we're diving at a shallow reef. I'm gonna take these bungees off and put them back in the bag. Pretty much we have the hose curled up, so it's that simple to be able to put this unit away. I'll use these little bungees right here to secure the hose. So since I've been diving with this unit, normally when I get back from the boat, I'll put it in the bag, and then I'll let the bag air out a little bit so that harness dries. For the flag, we do have an area to put the flag. So you can see right here in the bottom of the backpack, you do have a little drainage hole, so if you did get water in there, it's not a big deal. The water will kind of drain out, and that's it, you're set to go. You have a little pocket here for your water bottle, your spare air, your fins when you're done diving. There's a nice area to attach your fins as well. That's it, it's that easy. All right, so putting it away, we have these bags right here. That's actually really unique, is you have a charging port. So once you put the unit away, you can actually charge the unit from the charging port. So that's something very different. I'm gonna put the unit in here and just close up the bag. So this bag right here, on top, you can put your charger, you can put your mask, accessories, little compartments. You got carry handles in the front and back. So it's pretty simple pickup. Or if you have someone to help you out, you have handles on the side as well.
I wanted to show you the difference between the sport exhaust when we crank it on. We just finished a great day of diving. We have the Mercury Racing 300Rs. Eric, go ahead and hit it. There it is. So we're gonna run back. We wanna run back hard. If you want it to sound good, you have that sport exhaust you can click in at any point over on the vessel view. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our rough Friday out on the water with Blue. David, Daphne, thank you so much for spending some time with us. The products are absolutely amazing. Again, if you haven't tried any of this stuff out, I recommend you check them out. They go to a lot of the local boat shows. They were at our SoFlo boat show. Where else can they find you?
You can find us on the website, diveblu.com. It's spelled DIVE-BLU3.com. The 3 is for Brownie's Marine Group, Brownie's Third Lung. It's our sister company. You can find them at browniedive.com as well.
All right, well, thanks, guys. Send this to anyone that you think might find it interesting. Go check them out on Instagram, all their social media platforms. And again, follow, subscribe. We appreciate your support always. My name is Alan with Center Consoles Only, and we'll see you again very soon.